welcome to Catalan News. A message from the CIA to the Mossos. One of Catalonia's biggest newspapers published on its front page this morning an alleged warning from the American intelligence agency to Catalan police of a possible attack that would take place in Barcelona, specifically in La Rambla. Bear with us and we'll explain everything about this. And we'll also be heading to Stockholm to discover why they held there today a debate about Catalonia. Let's begin. The USA's National Counterterrorism Center, WikiLeaks, and a possible fake warning message from the CIA, written in English but full of common grammatical errors made by non-native speakers. These are some of the ingredients of today's main story in Catalonia. Did the CIA warn Barcelona of the risk of a terrorist attack in La Rambla? Catalan police authorities deny the US involvement, but the story has caused huge turmoil here in Catalonia.
Everything revolves around a two-paragraph short text published today by a paper, El Periódico. It claims that it was sent by the CIA to the Catalan police in May as a warning of a possible terrorist attack in Barcelona. Specifically in La Rambla, the text reads, yet the information's veracity is not clear. The Catalan Home Affairs Minister said that they received tens of warnings and analyzed them all. The police chief officer admitted to receiving one in May about La Rambla, but not coming from the American intelligence. Both of them claimed that the warning had little credibility, and they separated it from the attacks.
L'Estat ha reconegut que aquest avís que ells tenien del 25 de maig no té res a veure amb els atemptats del dia 17.
According to them, Spanish officials analyzed it as well and gave no veracity to it.
Les taules d'avaluació de l'amenaça que es fan a Madrid, una de les dues crec que va ser presidida pel propi ministre i que es van fer el 25 de maig i el 8 de juny, en cap de les dues es va contemplar com una amenaça.
Catalan officials were not the only ones to cast doubt on the information. WikiLeaks tweeted a number of supposed language mistakes in the text, including spelling errors and unusual words for an intelligence agency. According to the organization's editor, Julian Assange, the text appeared to be modified or fabricated. He asked the paper's director to step down. The police chief also questioned the director's actions, saying that he is only seeking to discredit the Catalan police.
Insinuations that police officers could have prevented the attacks in Barcelona infuriated the chief of Catalan police today, who denied any wrongdoing. In fact, the police response during the Barcelona and Cambrils attacks has been praised by both the French Gendarmerie and the New York Police Department, among others. The Catalan Parliament plans to honour police officers involved with a special ceremony on Catalonia's National Day, giving them a special medal for their bravery. Let's move on to politics, because today Catalan President Carles Puigdemont held a meeting with 8 political parties in the Danish Parliament. The day after inaugurating the new government delegation in Copenhagen, the Catalan leader explained to Danish politicians his government's plan to hold an independence referendum on October 1st.
2 years after the Danish parliament passed a resolution urging Catalonia and Spain to establish a peaceful and democratic dialogue on the issue of Catalonia's independence, Catalan president met today with 8 political groups in the Danish Folketing. Carles Puigdemont told them that their shared demand to seek dialogue has so far been unsuccessful. The Foreign Affairs spokesman from the Red-Green Alliance in the Danish Parliament, Nikolaj Villumsen, showed his concern.
Of course, I will call on our foreign minister to act, because action is needed. This is not only an issue between Catalonia and Spain, this is also an issue for the whole of Europe. But of course also it can be relevant again to have the debate in Parliament in order to deal with the situation where we clearly see that the Spanish government will not engage in the needed dialogue.
The Danish parliament might raise the issue of Catalonia again, Villumsen said, after a meeting that involved 2/3 of the political groups in the Folketing and included the participation of the Foreign Affairs Minister of Catalonia and the newly appointed delegate in Copenhagen.
Following the events in Copenhagen, another Nordic country, Sweden, today hosted a debate about Catalonia and its process towards self-determination. With this, Catalonia continues to strengthen its relationship and building bridges with the Nordic countries.
The Swedish independent think tank Arena Idé organized the conference with both Catalan and Swedish experts taking part in a moment of growing interest of what's going on in Catalonia.
I think it inspires a lot of people who are looking at ways of bringing democracy closer to people. Here are people who want to take their destiny into their own hands, so that it's inspiration for one part, but for other part as well, it's difficult to see how the present nation states of Europe should split further.
The keynote speaker at the event, the Secretary General of the Public Diplomacy Council of Catalonia, Albert Royo, emphasized that Nordic countries inspire Catalonia in social, political and democratic terms, and that they are indeed one of Catalonia's main priorities.
It's true that the Nordic countries are one of our priorities, not the only one, but one of them, because of their attachment to the democratic values. They all accept the right for self-determination. They have, some of them, exercise this right, and they understand that democratic values should always be respected in political conflicts like the one that we are living in Spain.
The event in Stockholm was the first in a Nordic country after the Catalan government inaugurated yesterday its first delegation in the region.
Nordic countries are a great place to visit, but so is Catalonia. Not only Barcelona, but also small towns in rural Catalonia or along the coast are worth the journey out of the city. And according to the latest official figures, a lot of people are actually coming from all around the world.
When it comes to breaking records, the Catalan tourist industry seems to know no limits. More than 11 million foreign tourists visited Catalonia from January to July, a million more than in the same period last year. 1 out of 4 visitors are French, while the British come second, making up 10% of international arrivals. These numbers make Catalonia the most popular tourist destination in Spain, as it accounts for almost a quarter of all visits in July alone. Yet some fear the skyrocketing numbers may be in danger. On August the 17th, terror attacks at tourist spots in Barcelona and Cambrils left 16 people dead and more than 100 injured. Victims included people from more than 30 countries around the world. Authorities fear that the attacks could scare away international visitors, just as has happened in other cities such as Paris and London. For the moment, though, Catalan and Spanish authorities say that Barcelona is managing to maintain its numbers. But there are other aspects that worry the tourism industry. One example is the chaos at Barcelona airport. This summer, thousands of holidaymakers suffered delays of up to 3 hours to get through security checks, as workers struck for higher wages and better working conditions. Compulsory arbitration imposed by the Spanish government ended today with the announcement of a final decision by the third-party mediator that both workers and the ULAN security company will have to respect. Yet it is not clear whether this will solve the conflict once and for all. Only time will tell if the amazing numbers of the Catalan tourism sector will be affected.
Well, let's hope holidaymakers and travellers don't face too many delays in the coming days. With this, we say goodbye for today, but not before showing you some new images of a comic book published in Barcelona about one of the city's darkest personalities, the Raval vampire. Check it out and see you tomorrow.